you have to do that too. So this is number 31 pack, Loom, anchor pack, put the head back in, you pull at those working yarns you have to get rid of just by putting it a little bit away from your loom. Now this is my first stitch, and I know that because this is where my working yarn is, so that is my last stitch. Pull gently at your circular needle until you're almost at your first stitch. And now we are going to put it back on, and because I'm e-wrapping I have to notice that that stitch is twisted, so I want it to be twisted again. So we're just going to have to take a closer look. This way it ain't twisted, and when I'm pulling through the back loop it is twisted. So I wanted to have it back twisted, so I'm going to take it off the circular needle and put it back on. And as you can see, my circular needle is heading this direction, so I know either I have to take it through the back loop on the loom, or I just put my needle over there and I put the stitches back on. So you just have to practice that a bit. So either you take it through the back loop and you put it back on, and because the needle size is 3, you have enough room, space for your stitches to put it back. And take care you take all 3 strands, so every time you check. Now because I have put all the stitches on the same way, I know that when I'm doing this it will be put on the loom exactly the same way as I did this one. Either through the back loop, I'm just going to search for it, and you see it's twisted, and you put it back on. You can pull it off like this, just making the gap a bit bigger. In the meantime you just pull a bit at the other side of the circular needle so the stitches will be put through. Okay, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is my 6th stitch, and I'm going to put a second stitch on the same pack at K2 Talk and knit together. We have then. Why I'm doing it upside down? Because when I was starting a brim and then knitting that, I had to increase, and that was more difficult to put on the loom, on the next loom, so from a 31 to a 36. So, and when I did it the other way around, this is more difficult. You don't have to pull that hard to put the stitches back on. So when you're going from a 41 to a 36 pack, you do it every 7th stitch. You're doing it together, and from a 36 to a 31 you do it on the 6th pack. Now just find a way that is easy for you, that suits you, to put the stitches back on. This is my way, and it is not the way, so just find your own way. Here's the one with the 2 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm at my 6th pack again. take a closer look. I was wrapping here a stitch that is not on the circular needle, so I put it back where it belongs, and then otherwise we are increasing, and that is not what we want to do here. We want to decrease. So I've put a second stitch on it. Just pull at your circular needle again, nice and gently, and put the stitches back on. 2, 4, 6. I'm at the 6th again. Pull at your circular needle, and as you can see over here, it's just going onto a peg, and you just remove it gently, and we count to 4, 5 and 6. So this is the one with the 2 stitches on it, and just take care that they won't pop off. Five, 6, and as you can see, 2 stitches left. This is the one we pull on the 6th, and this is the last one. Okay, put them back on, and now I only have to knit 4 centimeters, and 4 centimeters is around 1.5 inch. I'm doing that in a rib 1, so I E-wrap 1 and I purl 1. When you want to know more about the rib stitch, there's a video on this channel on rib stitch. There were 2 on my loom. I just grabbed them both, pull the stitch through, and either way you do it your own way, your purl stitch. There's another video on this side where you can see 3 ways of doing a purl stitch: E-wrap, purl, E-wrap, purl, E-wrap, and a purl again with the 2 stitches. Just grab them both, put your loop through, and put it back on your loom. And we are just going to knit another 1.5 inch or 4 centimeters, and then I'll let you see how to do the cast off. So with this hat I'm trying to do a very loose bind off, and I'm doing it right now by only using an E-wrap, because E-wrap is the most loopiest one, just by making the stitches a lot bigger. So I'm holding it like this and try to get them as big as the previous ones, so I get a regular cast off. Putting it back, just make it as big as the previous one, and just as loose. There is an extra loose cast off on this channel if you want to have a closer look. Okay, now I'm ready. And also on this channel is a video on how to do it with a lifeline, because you have to see if your cast on is as stretchy so that will fit. In this case my cast off was loose enough. But when you're not certain, you can do a lifeline to the project, and then it will help you to get the stitches easier back on the loom. Just cut off the yarn. This is my last stitch. Grab my hook and just pull the tail's end out of it. And of course, you watch if you fit your head, and as you can see, it's a 36 packs loom and it fits with a 31 packs brim. And this is what it looks like when it's closer. As you can see, the cast on and off is very regular. This is your tail's end. Just grab a needle. This is your last stitch and this is your first stitch. This is the cast on. You're going to grab the cast on that is next to the second. So this is the first stitch, this is the second stitch. You pull it through the V shape on top from the cast on. You pull it through, you connect the two, try to have it as loose as the other stitches, and then you put it back where it came from through the last stitch. Just check. It's as loopy as the other ones. You make a knot and you weave in, and I'd always go one stitch down before making the knot. This is the knot, and let's weave in ends. I'm doing it this way. You can do it the way you are used to yourself, of course. Cut it off, and your head is almost ready, because we still have a flat drawstring cast on to weave in. We just pull until we don't feel any movement anymore. Just cut off the yarn, finger length, pull it on your needle, just pull again, and then you are making a knot so it won't be having another movement. There always will be a little hole because this is a very bulky yarn, or become a very bulky yarn. It's E-wrap. When you're using another stitch like a knit stitch, you will notice that your crown of the head is much more beautiful. Weave in the crown, and I'm always making another knot. So I'm certain it is attached and won't be moving anymore. Okay, and this is how you make a hat with quite a smaller brim. The E-wrap is upside down now. Most of the time when you knit a hat it looks like this. But now the E-wrap will be upside down. I think it's a nice effect too. So with this hat I made a cabbage patch hat, and on another video I will show and demonstrate how I did the pig or ponytails of that hat. So I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.